Hey guys, how you doing today? It is Mr. and Mrs. Cheese, and we are going to be doing a live stream just for fun. There's no point of today's stream other than to get to know you guys. We're going to play a cool game, and feel free to ask us questions, and we're just going to swim around and play, and we're going to answer them the best you can. They can be good questions like, what are we going to do with the channel? What's next? If you have any questions about maybe starting up streams, editing, any of that, I do have plans to help you guys with that later on down the line. But feel free to just say hi, chat, and see, and just get to know us. Hopefully, we'll get to know you guys as well. So I'm gonna turn off the mic for now, and then I will stop periodically to answer chat questions. But we're gonna do an event dive. This game is called Endless Oceans Luminous, and you're basically a marine biologist, an oceanographer, if you will, discovering species of underwater life that no one has ever seen before. So feel free to ask questions, and I'll answer them as best I can and in a timely manner as I can. And without further ado, let's jump into today's event dive. We found Dory. Maybe we'll find Nemo, guys.
Apollo. A giant sunfish of a golden color, said in certain legends to be the sun itself. This may be because of the way it looks when it goes leaping out of the water, like the morning sun rising out of the ocean into the sky. Such tales have earned this fish the moniker, Sun Dancer. Bicolor parrotfish, red. A bicolor parrotfish of a rare red hue, it seems to have changed colors by ingesting pigments in the region's algae. Vibrant red shade aside, it still bears the unusual expression and small mouth peculiar to this glum-looking species of fish. Leopard whipray. This species can be recognized by the leopard pattern on its back. Its tail, twice as long as its body, has a venomous stinger at the tip. It is not very active and spends most of its time buried in the sandy seafloor. Bicolor parrot. Purple tang. This fish is purplish blue with a pattern of black speckles and lines, contrasting with the vivid yellow of its pectoral and tail fins. It's an active swimmer and is known for its strong temperament, which can make it aggressive toward members of its own species. It prefers shallow waters. Striped marlin. This fish is easily recognized by its long, spear-like upper jaw. The front of its first dorsal fin is high, then gradually dips toward the back. Its ventral fins are particularly long and narrow, and there are protuberances at the base of its tail fin. These give the marlin dynamic lift when swimming. Emperor angelfish. This fish has a dark blue base color with intricate yellow lines. Young fish are a different color from adults, with a white spiral pattern. As the fish matures, its pattern changes. A territorial sort, it will attack adult fish of its own species on sight, though juveniles are spared from such violence. Common dolphin. This dolphin has overlapping patches of yellowish-brown and gray on its body. It eats squid and small fish. Because this species has a nervous temperament, it is rarely kept in captivity. It lives in pods with other members of its species, mainly in temperate and tropical waters, and likes to swim alongside and ride the wakes of man-made watercraft. Indo-Pacific sailfish. This fish has a long, pointed snout, and it also has one of the largest dorsal fins of the marlin family. Some have suggested that this fish is capable of bursts of speed greater than any other fish, but there is no clear evidence to support this notion, so the debate is ongoing. Bicolor parrotfish. This fish has a mouth that resembles a parrot's beak. While mature males are a sparkling green, females are a more subdued brownish color. Meanwhile, juveniles are white with orange markings and possess a cuteness that makes them highly sought after by divers. Yellow tang. This fish's striking yellow color makes it popular at aquariums. When young, it groups up into shoals, but as an adult, it will tend to live in isolation. It is usually found in shallow waters near reefs, but it can go to depths of up to 45 meters. It has a mild temperament and subsists on stringy algae. Scrawled butterflyfish. This round fish is whitish with yellow around its edges and thick black lines stamped across its body. When it is swimming, its gentle motions almost make it look like a fluttering fan. It feeds on coral mucus, a slimy, nutrient-dense excretion that is produced by coral polyps. American lobster. This massive lobster can grow to over a meter in length. It prefers cold waters and lives hidden under rocks. The color varies with the individual's feeding habits. It molts its shell periodically, renewing some internal organs at the same time. It ages slowly due to certain enzymes in its body and lives quite a long time. Ribbon eel. This member of the moray eel family has characteristic protrusions from its nostrils. Ribbon eels start out as males. The young males are black but become bright blue with a striking yellow dorsal fin as they mature. The yellow ribbon eels are fully mature females. Blue tang. A beautiful, vibrant blue fish with a yellow tail fin, often seen in coral reefs. Its thin body lets it hide in crevices in the reef when threatened. Although it primarily feeds on algae, it also has a strong liking for lettuce, which it is given in some aquariums. Blue-lashed butterfly fish. Its yellow body is adorned with a white-rimmed black circle that looks like an eye. A strike in the eyes is fatal to a fish, so that's where predators usually aim. But if the pattern were mistaken for an eye and attacked, it would not be fatal. It eats coral polyps and crustaceans. Yellow long-nosed butterfly fish. This yellow fish uses its elongated snout to get into openings in coral and eat small animals it finds inside. It sometimes rests in caves and crevices, and when in a cave, may float with its belly pointing upward. This keeps its belly safe and lets it use its dorsal fin to protect itself. Antarctic silverfish. This small fish is an invaluable food source for penguins, seals, and other animals in the Antarctic. It has a silvery white body with a slightly darker color on its back. It's critical to the Antarctic ecosystem, but its population has declined in recent years, possibly as a result of climate change. Golden true-valley. Easily recognized by its dazzling gold color, the adult is over a meter long, but the juvenile is tiny, making it easy prey for other fish. A young fish may protect itself by staying near larger creatures, such as sharks, that will likely find it too small to eat. But it's still not totally safe, as these larger fish may eat it after all. Phantom. There are stories of a purple manta ray roaming inside an uninhabited castle. Some claim that the manta ray is the spirit of the Lord who lived in the castle before it sank into the sea. It does not appear that this species is actively seeking prey, instead, it just appears to be wandering a bit aimlessly. Could the stories be true? It is hard to say. Ribbon eel, yellow. When this unusual example of the species is young, it resembles a typical ribbon eel. However, as it matures, its coloration suddenly changes. The parts typically blue are yellow, and vice versa. Like the original species, it rarely closes its mouth, giving it the same somewhat adorable appearance. Snow crab. This large crab is widely distributed in the deep sea. It prefers sandy or muddy areas. It is omnivorous, feeding on shellfish, polychaetes, and fish. It molts repeatedly as it grows, often twice a year, usually passing through over 10 instars, stages between moltings. Red king crab. While resembling other crabs, this deep-sea species is a member of the hermit crab family. It is notable for appearing to have only 8 limbs, but it actually has 10, with 2 vestigial legs inside its shell, like other hermit crabs. Also like hermit crabs, it is able to walk forward. Japanese spider crab. This is the largest crustacean in the world, with a carapace measuring approximately 40 centimeters. It has 10 long, spindly legs with claws at the end of one pair, which grow especially large and long for males. Old records state that the biggest ever specimen was just under 6 meters. Transmission from HQ, unusual biometric signs have been detected at this dive site. A UML may be nearby. To locate it, we'll need to collect data from other anomalous creatures in the area. Your target's approximate locations will appear on the map as orange circles. When you're close to one, your scanner will also flash orange. Please try to... Crown of thorns starfish. This starfish both lives in, and preys on, coral reefs. It has periodic population spikes that can seriously endanger local ecologies as reefs are destroyed. The starfish has few predators, at least in part because of its venomous spines, which are quite dangerous. Horsehair crab. This crab is covered in short setae and prefers to live on sandy or muddy areas of the seafloor. It molts repeatedly as it grows, and feeds mostly on benthic, bottom-dwelling organisms such as polychaetes and shellfish. It has a round carapace and stout legs. It does not grow quickly, and the species has trouble recovering from overfishing. Sockeye salmon. This red-bodied fish spends a few years living in freshwater before migrating to the open ocean, where it subsists on a diet of zooplankton and small fish. A sockeye salmon and a kokanee salmon are closely related, But while a sockeye salmon will spend most of its life in salt water, a kokanee salmon prefers freshwater. Lady Dorothea. A mutated sturgeon that has become the stuff of legend in some waters. It is estimated to be over 100 years old, but little else is known about this rarely sighted specimen. Caviar made from sturgeon eggs is widely considered a delicacy, putting this and other sturgeon species at risk of exploitation and other threats. Blue discus. This species has an attractive, metallic blue luster and is popular as an aquarium fish. Fish in the discus genus come in a variety of colors, and each has its own name. Not all of these colors have occurred naturally, many have been achieved by selective breeding. Polka dot stingray, pink. This polka dot stingray has what can only be described as an adorable pink pattern on its body. Due to a genetic mutation, all of the parts of the stingray that are usually black have changed to pink. As this species is already well regarded for its appearance, this peculiar variation could become a real sensation. Oscar, green. A very uncommon type of Oscar, it has a white body with green patterns. While Oscars are known for their dark, cosmic-colored bodies and scattered red patterns, the body of this one clashes completely with that. Such mysterious, ethereal colors will likely continue to fascinate enthusiasts. Chinese mitten crab. This freshwater crab is dark brown, with fine setae growing on its legs. It is omnivorous and eats a variety of things, including shellfish, aquatic plants, crustaceans, and small fish. While it spends most of its life in freshwater, it does migrate to saltwater areas during spawning season, returning to freshwater after the season is over. All targets have been scanned and the mission is complete. Well done. Angelfish. A freshwater tropical fish. Transmission from HQ, multiple unusual biometrics found in the area. Sending drone footage. These are definitely the creatures that triggered the detection systems. They look like deep-sea fish. One of the larger ones is blowing bubbles. That must mean it has air in its body. The small ones are reacting. It seems they're intrigued by what the large fish is doing. Please scan it and send your findings to HQ has added new species to the UML database. These creatures are extremely rare. In fact, there's no record of them. Appropriately, researchers took note of the maybe. Glumonger. One of the unique species only found in the Veiled Sea. Although there have been only a few reported sightings of this creature, it is assumed to be a variant of the Urlunger due to its main similarities with that species, including the large body and distinctive back feathers. Its body was originally a brighter shade but appears to have dulled. Analysis of samples collected by research divers has revealed that its body color dulled after the luminescent bacteria in its body stopped functioning. It is possible this is a result of the necrotizing effect afflicting the world coral, but this theory is still being investigated.
Okay, we found some pretty interesting stuff on that dive. Pretty neat, huh? So we're going to do a solo dive and just that one won't time out on us and see what other creatures we can find.
Blotched fantail ray. This ray has a thicker body than most and a long tail with a venomous stinger. Caution is advised when approaching it. Some members of this species have a scattering of black blotches, while others are almost totally black. Dwarf sawfish. This creature has dozens of teeth arranged in a saw-like pattern. Its body is covered with sharp scales known as placoid scales. It has traits of both a shark and a ray, but it is classified as a ray because its gills are on the ventral side. As this species is rarely captured anywhere in the world, there is much that is still unknown about it. Japanese bullhead shark. This shark has a large head and distinctive ridges above its eyes that can look like cat ears or cow horns. It lies still in reef crevices or on the seafloor during the day, then goes out to look for food at night, using its strong teeth to crush and eat mainly mollusks and crustaceans.
Now, welcome to the live stream. Feel free to ask any questions down in the live chat. We are going to just be exploring for a little bit longer, probably about 25 more minutes, and then we are gonna wrap it up there. But we're gonna try to find a whole bunch of creatures for you, and we haven't seen a lot of sharks in the stream yet, so I am going to go to Shark City, as I like to call it. Almost there, guys. Just a few more feet.
Gyrocanthus. This fish lived during the Carboniferous period of the Paleozoic era and probably reached up to 90 centimeters long. Like the small Climaceus, it was an acanthodian. It was covered in spines, but the ones on its pectoral fins were about 40 centimeters long, or almost half of its body length. Plesiosaurus. This plesiosaur lived during the early Jurassic period of the Mesozoic era. It could grow to lengths between 2 and 5 meters, and used its limbs to prey on squid and fish. This species is often compared to the Elasmosaurus, another, and at 14 meters, considerably larger, member of the Plesiosauria group. Nothosaurus. This reptile lived during the Triassic period of the Mesozoic era. It is believed that it evolved from a terrestrial reptile, a theory partly informed by how, rather than fin-like limbs, it had fingers with webbing between them. Measuring 1 to 4 meters in length, this species lived in shallow waters and primarily preyed on fish using the sharp teeth in its large mouth. Japanese spiny lobster. This large lobster inhabits shallow reefs. During the day, it hides in the darker areas of the reef, retreating to the depths when it senses danger. It is mostly carnivorous, but eats a wide variety of food, including seaweed. Newborns are only about 1.5 millimeters long and look like white spiders. Dipnorhynchus. This bony fish lived during the early to Middle Devonian period and may have been an ancestor to the modern lungfish. Its skull was very strong, similar to an amphibian's. It was about 90 centimeters long, with fleshy fins. The details of its ecology are not well understood. Sclerorhynchus. This ray probably lived during the Cretaceous period and was similar to the modern sawfish. Like the sawfish, its eyes were located on the top of its head and its mouth was on the ventral side of its body. It had a long, saw-like snout, and likely captured its prey after striking it with this weapon to weaken it. Any teeth it lost from the saw would quickly grow back. Chictalic rosé. This member of the Sarcopterygii group lived in relatively shallow waters during the late Devonian period. It possessed both lungs and gills, allowing it to breathe above and below the surface of the water. Its strong pectoral fins could actually function like forearms, and since the muscles of these limbs were so well developed, it is believed that this creature could actually pull itself a bit up on land. Helicoprion. This ancient shark is believed to have lived from the late Devonian period to the early Triassic period. It had a very unique appearance, specifically the spiral teeth. Research suggests that older teeth were wrapped around the inside of the spiral while newer teeth were on the outside, but there is some disagreement regarding the positioning. Protostega. This huge turtle lived during the Cretaceous period and was the second largest turtle known, after the Archelon. Its shell wasn't very hard, but more like thick skin. This carapace was lightweight, and what it lacked in protection it made up for in allowing the animal to swim for long periods. Axelrodichthys. This giant coelacanth lived during the late Cretaceous period. It was the largest of all coelacanths, at a total length of about 3.5 meters. Its mouth was lined with small, fine teeth. Unlike other coelacanths, which were largely freshwater species, this one lived in the sea, which may be why it grew larger. Ammonoidea. This cephalopod flourished after the Devonian period and likely lived until the end of the Cretaceous. Its shell had a unique shape, similar to but different from a conch. There were numerous variations on the spiraling shape. It was preyed upon by many fish and was a valuable food source for a lot of species. Parapuzosea. This giant member of the Amanitida order lived during the late Cretaceous period. Like most ammonoids, its shell was a flat spiral, though this one had a diameter of 2 meters, making it one of the largest Amanitida species. It is believed that this creature propelled itself about by spitting water from a funnel, despite the weight of its massive shell. Okeanos' guardian. This large goblin shark was lurking around the ruins. It may be a descendant of a creature, referred to as the Ammit of Okeanos, bred by the ancients. The name Ammit is derived from a creature of Egyptian myth with the body of a lion and the head of a crocodile. It acts as a leader to the goblin sharks that surround it and has an aura of menace. Rebellatrix. This member of the coelacanth family is thought to have lived about 250 million years ago. Unlike its cousins, it had a symmetrical tail fin, divided in two, similar to a tuna or other fish that migrate at high speed over long distances. It is therefore thought this fish was a better swimmer than the coelacanth, going further and faster. Drepanaspis. This benthic fish lived during the Devonian period of the Paleozoic era. Its disc-shaped head was large compared to its body. Since it was jawless, it presumably swallowed the mud it scooped up in its mouth, looking for food. Its eyes were small, round, and widely set, and it swam like a stingray. Cephaderma. This carnivorous reptile lived during the Triassic period. At first glance, it looks like a turtle, but it was actually more closely related to plesiosaurs. It had two shells on its back, each of a different size, and its upper jaw was slightly protruded. Like rays and some other fish, it probably spent a lot of time hiding under the mud and sand of the seafloor. Chambered nautilus. This mollusk lives in fairly deep waters. This species has existed in roughly the same form for about 500 million years, so it is sometimes called a living fossil. Its outer shell looks like a parrot's beak, and it has about 90 tentacles, much more than its fellow cephalopods, the squid and octopus. The name nautilus means a sailor or ship. Dipedium. This round fish likely lived from the late Triassic to the early Jurassic period and had a maximum length of around 90 centimeters. It had hard enamel scales that were square in shape, and teeth in two different shapes. These two types of strong teeth helped it prey on tough crustaceans, shellfish, mollusks, and invertebrates. Coelacanth. A deep-sea fish that looks roughly the same as it did 350 million years ago. Based on an analysis of its scales, it is believed to have a lifespan of around 100 years. Unlike most fish, this species does not have a backbone and instead has a tube-shaped structure that functions like one. Thanatos. This enormous great white shark is feared throughout the Aegean Sea, where it is seen as the embodiment of evil and violence. It actively attacks people and boats, tallying numerous brutal incidents. Its many scars are proof of the countless battles it has fought, and it has cunningly evaded all human attempts to ensnare it. This creature is a monster born of years of ferocious fighting that can be seen all over the world, but only rarely. Camarasaurus. This large, ancient species is believed to have lived from the Middle Ordovician period to the Silurian period. Research suggests it could grow to around 10 meters in length, and it is thought to have used its suction cupless tentacles to ambush the trilobites, eurypterids, and nautiluses it preyed on.
Alright guys, this was the ancient dinosaur cave with some sharks. I'm going to try to go to the hammerhead den for you guys here shortly. But as you can see, there's just so many species. I wish I could show you all of them in one video, but that would take days.
Cloudy cat shark. The cloudy cat shark has a fairly wide head with cat-like eyes. There is also a detailed pattern on its body. Females sometimes have bite wounds on them because, while mating, the male bites the female in order to position itself.
We should be rolling up on the hammerhead pit right here. But this is pretty much like the whole game, guys. You just go around picking up treasure out of the ocean floor and scanning fish, and it does have a story mode, you know, with individual little missions, but for the most part, this is it. You just swim around and enjoy and just relax.
Silver chimera. This species gets its name from the chimera, a monster in Greek myth. As that name implies, it is rather intimidating in appearance. The spine on its dorsal fin is venomous, albeit not a danger to humans. It flaps its oversized pectoral fins like wings as it swims. It is found in the depths of the sea, where it feeds on crustaceans, mollusks, and fish. Goldeye rockfish. This fish is easily identified by its pale red body and large eyes. It hatches its eggs inside its body, and its young are released only when they have grown to about 5 millimeters. It spends its first 120 days floating among drifting seaweed, after which it is able to live near the seabed. It moves farther into the depths as it matures.
I'm not sure that they would follow cruise ships, actually, but I mean, they probably could.
The upper half of its caudal fin, almost the same length as its body, is used to swim and also to hunt. It herds fish or squid into one place and beats them by swinging its tail furiously before eating the weakened prey. It is said to be docile and is unlikely to attack a human unless provoked.
Yeah, it has a lot. I think there's a lot of fish that are actually made up just for the game, and it's pretty neat. I'm actually gonna pull the map. So, over in the far right, you see there's a gigantic iceberg area too, and it has like Antarctic creatures like narwhals and orcas, and the spider crabs, um, and like it has like all sorts of different sharks. Like I'm barely in a small area, and um, there is so much in here. Even just the little guys, and it's completely like therapeutic. Like there's no danger. You can't get attacked by sharks or anything. You get things like this guy just swimming around, giant ocean sunfish. You got cuttlefish. These guys can actually change color, but I imagine that sharks could follow cruise ships. Um, Maybe they're not chasing food scraps that are thrown out. They could be, but I think they would be following dolphins, checking out the stuff. But yeah, it's super therapeutic. There's another shark over here we'll go check out.
Great white shark, leucistic. This variant is pure white, unlike other great white species which tend to be gray and white. This is called leucism, and is a condition in which body hair, feathers, skin, etc. turn white due to a decrease in pigment. Several specimens of pure white, great white sharks have been discovered in recent years, and it's likely that this species has undergone a similar mutation. Japanese fan lobster. This lobster has a flat body like a fan. When it feels threatened, it flees backward. Its larvae are sometimes called jellyfish riders for their habit of floating along with the jellyfish they also prey upon. Its shell is softer than that of a Japanese spiny lobster.
I know the sea bream's real at least, because that's served in restaurants. And I've seen most of these in aquariums, but yeah, probably some of them. I think they find like 10 new species every couple of months in the ocean. It's pretty wild, and some of them look a lot like aliens.
Great white shark. It feeds on large fish and marine mammals, and its sharp teeth with serrated edges can easily bite through the flesh of its prey. This is a dangerous animal that sometimes attacks humans, but it does not target them specifically. Any attacks are likely to be a case of mistaken identity.
Okay, we are coming up on the hammerhead shark pit.
Scalloped hammerhead. Named for its distinctive head, which protrudes to the left and right, it has eyes and nostrils at the very end of each side and is said to have heightened senses of smell and sight. Its unique shape also acts like a rudder, giving it the ability to turn sharply. It dislikes the noise of divers' exhaled bubbles and generally will not approach them, but this does not mean there is no risk of attack, and caution is necessary.
But those are the hammerheads. I couldn't find a great hammerhead in there, but they're a lot bigger. Yeah, there's humpback whales and there's whale sharks and I've seen one other type of whale. I can try to find one real quick. As big as they are, they actually don't pop up that much in the game. But when they do, it's crazy. there's a, oh, I thought that was a whale. I got excited. The big turtle. The humpback whales do make the noise, yeah. And the dolphins actually chitter underwater. You can hear that. But that's about the only ones that make noise in the game, if I remember right, that I've come across so far anyway. I think I know where one is. I'm gonna try to go to it. But they're kind of unpredictable, like where they actually show up. Best possible way I could describe the game, though, is an interactive aquarium that does not cost $100 to visit.
Transmission from HQ. Unusual biometric signs have been detected at this dive. A UML may be nearby. Your target when narwhal. This species prefers to eat cod and is known for being good at deep-sea diving. It is easily recognized by its single long tusk. While it is most often the males that have a tusk, it is not unheard of for a female to have one. The tusk itself is a collection of nerves and, if a part is broken off, it will not grow back.
Okay, we may actually see something really rare right here, guys.
Greenland shark. This large shark inhabits the depths of the Arctic Ocean. It can live deeper than 1,000 meters, so sightings are rare. It is long-lived, with one specimen radiocarbon dated at 392 years old, plus or minus 120 years. It is a voracious carnivore and has few natural predators in the deep sea. It compensates for its slow-moving speed by being an ambush hunter.
I have no idea why the red rings appeared. They've never appeared before, but I'm gonna try to find what's ever in here real quick. But there sometimes is a whale that frequents around here. Alright, we got a dolphin. Sorry, quite a large orca. My bad, guys.
Orca. A marine mammal with white patches next to its eyes. It is a social carnivore, hunting in small packs consisting only of direct relatives. At the base of its dorsal fin, there is a gray pattern called a saddle patch. This is unique to each individual and does not change, making it a useful marker to identify an orca. Spectacled porpoise. A rare porpoise inhabiting colder waters, it has a pattern around its eyes that looks like a pair of glasses. The male's dorsal fin is rounder and larger than the female's. It eats cephalopods, fish, and shrimp, and has a thick layer of fat that helps it regulate its body temperature at lower depths. Antarctic cod. Living at depths of a few dozen to over 1,000 meters, this fish has an amazing ability to survive in the ice-cold waters of the Antarctic Ocean. Its heart beats only once every 6 seconds, and this fish actually produces a special antifreeze glycoprotein to protect its body from freezing. Spectacled porpoise.
I've only played it for about 10 hours, and I've completed the first 2 story chapters. It does have a story mode, and about this map, I think I've got 80% of the map. But all the stuff on the left side, I've got 64% of this map, and then I've done about probably like 5 hours to 10 hours on the story mode, which is like individual sectioned off missions. It's really cool though.
Southern bottlenose whale. This species has a rounded head with a thin snout, making it look like a bottle's neck. Several 100,000 are believed to live in the Antarctic Ocean. A closely related species, the northern bottlenose whale, lives in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, there's our first whale. Yes, sadly, people do poach fish in real life. Sometimes it is for profit. Like, I know that shark fin soup is a delicacy in some parts of the world. So I know people will kill sharks just so they can eat soup with the shark fin in it. Um, as far as like people that just want to collect stuff, they don't buy the proper permits and things in order to um, transport the fish. Um, as far as like local fish, like if you were going to go to a lake or a pond or stuff, people do fish illegally as well. They just go without the fishing license, and that is technically still classified as poaching fish.
All targets have been scanned and the mission is complete. Well done. Narwhal. Transmission from HQ. A very large source of strange biometric signs has been detected nearby. We are sending footage from the drone closest to the site.
I agree. It does happen though. Some people just want to collect the fish that bad, so they go out and steal them out of the wild. Or some people are just hungry and they need to eat, or they just don't want to buy fishing.
Concerning. We've observed strange biometric signs in the
Or some people just need to eat and they don't want to buy the license. Or sometimes that's just the case that they just don't buy the fishing license and that they fish illegally that way, and that's technically poaching. But yeah, people do still see creatures and things of that nature, and they catch fish and illegally transport them all the time, unfortunately.
transmission from HQ. UML data has been received. We'll take over the investigation for the time. It seems this UML is a close relative. We're calling it the Grand Ancestor. It's quite something. Encountering with time, we may be able. Grand Ancestor. One of the unique species only found in the Veiled Sea. It is believed to be closely related to the Basilosaurus, which lived during the Paleogene period, but this has not been confirmed. If it is, it's possible it is the evolutionary midpoint between the Basilosaurus and modern whales, so some call it the Grand Ancestor. Most members of the Basilosaurus family possess a long torso, and this species, with its long, patterned torso, is no exception. It also has a blowhole on the top of its head, and it uses it to breathe, sing, and blow bubble rings. Japanese smelt. This small freshwater fish lives in schools and feeds on zooplankton and fish eggs. It is preyed upon by large fish and birds. During the spawning season, some schools migrate up rivers, and some descend to the sea. The species is highly adaptable to water quality.
I'm not sure what it wants me to scan here, so I think we're done with this area. We found the big guy, and that was where we're supposed to be. So I'm gonna move on to a different area and try to find some different fish. There you go. There's a blue whale for you. I knew there was one that used to hang around here. Thing's gigantic.
Blue whale. The blue whale is known for its huge bluish-gray body. It is the largest mammal on Earth, with some over 30 meters long. The water it blows can reach as high as 10 meters, and the 60 or more ventral pleats in its throat open when it feeds. It travels widely, and its call contains low-frequency wavelengths that travel well in water and allow it to communicate with other whales up to 160 kilometers away.
Yeah, sorry it took so long to find a whale, but as big as they are, they're super hard to find. It's weird.
Stocky Antheas. Males of this species have a red mark on the dorsal fin, while females have the mark on the tips of their tail fin. This fish lives around coral reefs and gathers in shoals, feeding on plankton that get caught in the currents and driven upward. Its striking looks make it a popular aquarium fish. Stark's demoiselle. Easily recognized by its beautiful dark blue coloring with a yellow stripe running from the tip of its mouth all the way along its back. Unlike other damselfish, it tends to live in deep water reefs and coral reefs. It is very wary and will conceal itself amid the rocks when it feels threatened. Sakuridae. A species of sea bream that has a bright red body marked with patches of white. It has long, delicate threads growing from its tail fin and some spines of its dorsal fin. This fish swims in shoals, mainly in deeper areas around reefs, though it can also be found at relatively shallow depths. Transmission from HQ, UML vanishing from the dive site in concurrence with topographical shifts. However, faint signs continue to linger. HQ will continue to monitor. Marbled flounder. Both eyes are on the right side of this fish's flat, elliptical body. It changes its color like a chameleon to blend in with the seabed where it lives. Very rarely, white-bodied marbled flounders are born. These fish lack the ability to change their color and are easily seen by predators. As such, they have a lower life expectancy. Broad cowtail ray. This ray sports a tail that not only has a venomous stinger in it, but is adorned with a frilly piece of skin. It tends to bury itself in the sandy seafloor with only its eyes sticking out. It swims in shoals and may sometimes appear in freshwater rivers. Yellow goosefish. This fish is flat and extremely thin with protuberances on its large head. Its mouth is full of large, sharp teeth that fold inward. The protuberances on its head are actually formed by spines from its dorsal fin. It camouflages itself by hiding under sand and mud, then jumping out and capturing prey that swims by. Purple queen. It is worth seeking out schools of this beautiful deep purple anthias near coral reefs. If you look closely, you will note a point to its mouth. The male can be told apart from the female by its reddish dorsal fin and the upturned mouth. Like other groupers, it forms into harems. Purple queen. giant squid. This huge squid has 8 long arms and another 2 incredibly long tentacles, each over 10 meters in length, hanging from its enormous body. It prefers to live in the deeper waters of the ocean, though sightings in shallower waters, and instances of a specimen being caught in a net or drifting ashore have been more common in recent years. It primarily hunts neon flying squid or fish, and it possesses an ink sac, though it is up for debate how effective spraying ink is in the pitch-black depths of the sea.
Okay, guys, we're going to go just a little bit further, and then we're going to wrap it up here shortly.
Humpback whale, young. A female humpback whale will typically only have one baby per year. The fetus grows in its abdomen at a rate of about 25 centimeters per month. By the time the baby is born, it is around 4.5 meters long. The newborn humpback whale is at risk of predation by orcas. Green humphead parrotfish. This fish, which is gray or a light blue-green, has a head that looks like a big, inflatable crown. Males of the species tussle for territory by banging their heads into one another. The imposing fish lives around rocks and reefs, and unusually, consumes living corals. It also eats algae and crustaceans. Dogtooth tuna. It is often found inhabiting the coral reefs in shallow shoreline areas. It can be distinguished from other tuna species by its lower first dorsal fin and its wavy lateral line. While smaller members of the species swim in large schools, larger ones are found in pairs or go on their own.
Yeah, that's the only other whale I could really find. This is a humpback whale. I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you for swimming with me, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the cute fish and the crazy creatures that could possibly be in the ocean and be real. I would like to say thank you, Yuki, for joining today. It's always a pleasure to see you. And I will catch you guys as soon as I can. And I would like to remind you all that Super Mario Bros. Wonder is dropping the 6 episodes tomorrow. They're going to start dropping at 6 and they're going to end around 8:30. It's finishing up the entire game. And it will, and that series will be complete. And we will see what is in the future for Mr. and Mrs. Cheese soon. Thank you guys so much for watching and interacting. And we are glad that you joined us today. We hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe and let your friends know about us. And we will catch you all soon. Take care.